伝えしていますように、安倍総理大臣は IOC のバッハ会長と電話会談を行い、1年程度の延期を提案しました。バッハ会長は
The Olympics are delayed for a year at the very most. 25 minus 3, huh? Yeah. The 2020 Tokyo Olympics have officially been postponed, and that sign right there is confusing me because it just says 25 minus 3. Huh. Well, this is a bit awkward, isn't it? Oh. I'm not used to Coke and sugar. Welcome to this week's vlog, I guess. Oh, yeah. Business as usual. A little bit past 6 and the evening commute commences. What is this coronavirus of which everybody speaks of? Slowly but surely, my buds are popping up. Very, very, very slowly, but they're coming in. I'm in Asakusa. I haven't been here for a while because I've mostly just been avoiding all the touristy areas of Tokyo until the coronavirus broke out, and now this shit is so crowded, but everybody's Japanese. Oh my god, this is so funny. I think last time I was here, the Kaminarimon gate was under construction for repairs and stuff, and now it's reopened again, which is good news. Yeah, definitely social distancing is not a thing here. And it's really crowded. And everybody over here is Japanese, which is kind of, everyone's like, oh, okay, no tourists, let's go over here. And a lot of people here. Look at this. Going through Kaminarimon and down to the there's a couple tourists. Yeah, for the most part everybody over here is Japanese. This is kind of surreal seeing this. This is kind of crazy. I don't know what this is. It's really delicious. What is it called? Harinto. It's really good. They gave me an extra pack of these. Huh? There's Ami. Been a while since you've been on the channel, have you? At the, what is it, the Kameju? Yeah, the dorayaki shop. We were talking with the guy who owned the place, and I guess he was happy that we talked to him, and he gave us both of us an extra pack of these. Even though all I bought was one dorayaki, and I mean, she bought a lot of stuff. Yeah. Bringing it back to your parents? Yep. So here's my dorayaki. It's like a pancake with red bean paste inside of it. Itadakimasu. Oh my god. How about that? That's delicious. This tastes so fresh. Oh my god, I love this so much. So, I mean, it is a pancake essentially. What the heck is that Chinook doing over here? my goodness. Where's he going? Tanda. That's the only tree that's blooming right now. This whole area is completely redone now. It's really nice. Well, look at this one. This is so pretty. Look at this. Look at this. This is so pretty. I mean, I understand half of it's not even bloomed yet, but look at that tree. They changed the mural in here. It's still cute, but it's not drawn by a bunch of elementary school kids. Families out and about. A couple of news articles have posted that Japan is reopening. I don't think it ever shut down. I was talking to a number of event organizers and a lot of people yesterday, and it was just like, this place really never stopped, did it? Japan sort of realized, though, this whole social distancing thing is just muda na koto ne. The trains are crowded. The only noticeable difference is there are barely any tourists, and that is something I actually like. So, you know, maybe this will continue for a while, but I mean, look at over here. Yeah, this is the telltale sign Japan's back to normal, except these things are not blooming yet. So that makes me wonder if the Hanami next weekend, the YouTube one gets rained out, I might be able to reschedule it for the first weekend of April, but yeah, look, everyone's just over here having a good time at the park. Yep, this is awesome. I mean, because there's virtually no travel to and from this country, I mean, I guess this makes sense, right? Everyone's like, well, I guess we're isolated and we're good to go. I mean, who knows if that's actually going to be successful or not, right? Harajuku's new station opened. I didn't know that. How about that? See? Morning. It's springtime. Look at my shirt. I'm about to get run over by a kid. Actually, I'm about to run over a kid. Never mind. I'm in the Keech, aka Kichi Joji. I got hashtag the Yeti, the backpack for traveling. I also got some drank. And I'm heading into the park in defiance of, well, actually they just lifted they just lifted the restriction on a lot of shit, so I'm actually staring at these two dogs in front of me that looks like they're wearing pants. Both of these dogs are wearing like something. Are they gonna shit their own pants or what? Alright, I'm gonna show you all how I get over to the park. Just walk in. Walk in and hang a left, I guess. Alright, 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 alright. Alright, 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 alright. They got the freaking extra toilets, got trash, security people are here, and the sakuras are starting to bloom. Now I just gotta find a place to park all my stuff. Well, at least this is pretty. This cooler is amazing. It's kind of early in the day, but there's already a lot of people here. Everyone's just taking pictures. A couple of people, like a couple old people came over to me and asked me if I was doing Hanami. I'm like, is that okay? They're like, yeah, go ahead. I asked them if I was far enough away because I'm like right up against this barrier here. And they're like, oh, there's a dog over there. Look at that dog. That's not the dog barking. That dog barking is somewhere over there. But yeah, the old people were like, yeah, go ahead, have fun. Look at this pine tree. That's a beautiful pine tree. This is how it's done. What up, Ito-san?
Ito-san.
Playing some Tool out of the speakers. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
We're all here. Yo. There's Ito, there's Grisky.
I'm like
Here's our beer.
pants today, so
Oh.
don't freaking record.
Grisky's taking off his pants. That's just how we do it at the Hanami. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, basically, this is what I post on YouTube. So there's Kay, there's Julian, hello.
Hi, Julie.
Julie and Julianne. Introduce yourselves.
We so like a cliche.
I haven't
even
realised that.
Yeah, of course. When you're introducing each other, It's fun so much like it's a
Oh,
so funny. It's like really.
Yeah, this is how we spread the coronavirus in Japan.
You met French?
No, seriously, look at this.
Dan.
There's like a lot of people here. There's a lot of people here, right? You guys having fun? Yeah. This is a video for YouTube. Everybody say Happy Hanami.
Happy Hanami! Happy Hanami!
Yay. Somehow I'm taking a screenshot.
Picture.
Well, no, I took a.
Take a picture as well.
You can take a picture. There's a button at the. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's a button at the top here. Yep. Today's my Japan anniversary. I've been here for 7 years, dude. 7 years. That's a long freaking time, right? March 21st, 2013. That's the day I literally moved to Japan. And like 7 years later, I'm still trucking along, right? Someday I know someday I'm gonna move from here, but it's like, for now, I'm still here, bro. I have no words right now. I wanted to film a segment for this week's vlog today on Sunday, where it's sunny and like approaching 70 Fahrenheit. But it's like I was just watching Casey Neistat's video where he was talking about his friend who contracted the COVID virus. There is just a weird thing going on here in Tokyo and in Japan compared to the rest of the world. Japan's northern district of Hokkaido, basically the northern island, rescinded their state of emergency on Thursday. And a lot of places were like, yeah, you know, life back to normal. Schools are going to reopen as scheduled for April, when the school year begins over here. And it's just a weird time because everything else in the planet is shutting down. I mean, the only exception to that would be parts of Korea and China going back to normal. Taiwan, I don't think Taiwan ever had a problem or had to shut down anything, so it's weird. Because Japan is in this spotlight because of the 2020 Olympics, a lot of articles have been written recently about what's going on over here, right? And one of the underlying comments from a lot of people who read those articles is, Japan must be a very hygienic country. And then people who live here are like, oh no, Japanese people are not hygienic. I mean, I've lived here for 7 years. Yesterday was my Japan anniversary, my official Japan anniversary for moving here. But because even though I've lived here for 7 years, I still maintain regular contact with the States. I've flown back and forth between America and Japan 2 or 3 times a year. I watch the news in America using VPNs and stuff. So I know what's going on in the States, and I still see what's going on with the people I know there. Japanese people, in terms of hygiene, are a hell of a lot more hygienic than Americans. I'll just say that right there. And when this all started, not just February, not just March, 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, when all this stuff started popping up in Wuhan, people immediately buckled down and said, all right, gotta wash our hands, te arai ugai. That became one of the buzzwords over here. Japan hasn't done as rigorous of testing on COVID-19 as many other places have done. But I think on the flip side, I believe that Japan really hasn't had the effects of COVID-19 as a lot of other places. Mortality has not gone up. I mean, I can verify this personally, and I've also had Yuri Kageyama from I mentioned her in my previous video, the journalist. A lot of people basically have said that this country not only dodged the coronavirus bullet, but also flu cases have dropped. So a bump in hygiene may have saved Japan, and the pragmatic response of the people not losing their mind and quarantining themselves, I guess you could say, not losing their minds by emptying the supermarkets of all the stuff in there. I think the response has resulted in a very minimal impact to society, and as I walk up here, I'm literally watching the sakura trees start to bloom. Everybody's also out and about, you know. Mankai for the sakura trees, the full bloom, is I think Tuesday, so 2 days from today, but this tree right here still is budding. But like yesterday when I was at Inokashira Park, we were literally watching the trees go from basically nothing to this, you know? That brings me to my next point, really. It's the amount of homerism and, I forgot the word I used on Twitter. Bell ringing, yeah. So basically Japan's been dealing with this since mid-January. even though the number of tests has been low, and a lot of people are speculating that the reason they're not doing as much testing is so Japan doesn't freak out the IOC and have the Olympics canceled. But even if that, I mean, I'm pretty sure that is the case, but even with that, like I mentioned earlier, mortality has been not affected, hasn't changed, and people are overall just living their lives. I wonder if that's, you know, the best response so far, but everyone's like, oh, Japan hasn't seen the worst yet. Japan has seen the worst. Whatever the worst was, you know, those big clusters in Hokkaido, that live house in Osaka, not much of an effect here in Tokyo. Life goes on. I mean, yeah, they said don't really come to Osaka this 3-day weekend because of the threat, but that's about as severe of a response as you would ever see for the coronavirus. It's kind of one of those things, it's like, huh, we really dodged a speeding bullet train, haven't we? But the bell ringing comes from people saying, oh, you shouldn't be going outside, you shouldn't be doing anything at all. I don't think that's a response that resonates with the Japanese people. I mean, you saw when I was in Asakusa the other day. I mean, you saw yesterday at the park. Life goes on as normal. That's the thing that Japan has always done really well. I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but like the Japanese public is always like, yeah, sure, there's a big ass earthquake and tsunami, but we gotta get back to work. Yeah, there might be a global pandemic, but you know, we got Hanami this weekend, right? I mean, Japanese people don't like stuff disrupting their routine, and they'll do whatever it takes to get back onto that routine. And as routine, the sakura trees. Yeah, this routine will never be interrupted. Much like the Japanese spirit of gaman suru and shogunai, things I've criticized quite often. But in this case, I really feel like whatever it was, I mean, Japan has a huge amount of Chinese tourists that came over here who probably had the coronavirus, and they've even infected a lot of the tourist industry workers here in Japan. Something worked here. I don't know what it was, but something worked. Ooh, that's a lot of money. All right, off the sheeps. See this guy right there? Is he clothed? I can't tell. You guys see how it's sunny right now? Well, relatively sunny. Also, it's cold, like freaking winter mode. Yesterday I was t-shirt mode. But yeah, like, forecast for YouTube Hanami says rain. I just hope the forecast is wrong. So Tokyo went crazy again. Let me explain. Mr. Dick Pound, the IOC dude from the States, announced that there's a pretty much 99% possibility that the Olympics are going to be postponed to next year, which I kind of don't want to happen because I just wish they get it over with. The Olympics, rather, because of how much of an economic strain it's been here. Simultaneously, I wish they, just postpone it to initially to October and then see what happens, but I digress. That's not the important part. After that, Governor Koike is like, oh yeah, by the way, there's a spike in cases in Tokyo, irrespective of the fact that we're testing people, which is, when you actually start testing people, excuse the wind noise, you're gonna find more people with the case of coronavirus. It's not like, oh, we expanded tests and yeah, there's no extra people. And that's not what happens. Because of the nature of this virus, people are just gonna carry it, and then a lot of times they just excrete it, right? Because they just don't show any symptoms, If you recall, 2 weeks ago, I had a dry cough. It was just a day or two, and I thought it had something to do with the wind, the weather changing, because every time the season does change, I have a dry cough because of that. But that is also a symptom of the coronavirus. And the thing is, it's like, you can't tell, and it's like, what, did I actually have it? Did I carry it? Nobody else in my office got sick. Did they carry it? We don't know, right? So when you start expanding testing like this, you're gonna find more people with the coronavirus. And it's not a bad thing either. It's just like, okay, cool. You've got this isolation for 2 weeks. Who have you been in contact with? Isolation for 2 weeks. Here's the problem though. You keep expanding the isolation and you don't have any sort of remedy, treatment, antiviral thing set up. Where is all of the money and the focus and the research going on all of that? We don't have anything set up for that. There's one drug that the Hubei province governor said was the best solution that came out of here in Japan. And they used that drug to treat the flu here. Now, corroborating what I said earlier, my good pal in the AP and a number of other people have reported that there has not been a rise in mortality, not been a rise in overall sickness, and also flu cases have been down. So, is it actually getting bad here? No, it is not. People just need to stop losing their freaking minds, because you're starting to make me lose my freaking mind right now. And if I have to be locked up in my tiny ass freaking apartment for 2 freaking weeks, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. I already am losing it. I already have to freaking change the date of the goddamn YouTube Hanami because of rain. What are they gonna do with all this shit? Oh, Jesus Christ. Especially the ones that are labeled Tokyo 2020. Like, what are they gonna do with all this? This tree is still budding, but these are all white now. I guess this is gonna take a while. I hope the ones that are still budding survive the monsoon storm we're gonna get this weekend. The 2020 Tokyo Olympics have officially been postponed. This was expected for a while. A lot of people thought that, even due to the fact that Japan has relatively been unscathed from the coronavirus outbreak. A lot of training facilities have been closed and a lot of people weren't able to, train because of the lockdown in many other countries, that the Olympics would end up being postponed for logistical reasons. And I just love this freaking neighborhood that I'm in. They haven't announced the date for the new Olympics, I guess. They did announce that the Olympics are still going to be called Tokyo 2020, even if it's held in 2021. Abe did say he's looking to have it by next year, like basically at the very latest summer of next year, which means we might have it in October, like they did in 1964, so who knows, right? Yeah, really, what are they going to do with this stuff now? Oh, Jesus. I'm actually going to buy this? Yeah, which one am I going to buy? I don't know. This one's cheaper than this. Most of those clips you saw, actually all the clips except for the intro, were recorded prior to this, prior to the announcement that the Olympics decided to yeet themselves out of existence, at least for the time being, because of everybody concerned about the coronavirus. And here's the thing, I'm actually not surprised. A lot of people aren't really surprised either. I mean, we're disappointed, but it's one of those things that's out of Japan's hands. And Japan built itself as a safe pair of hands for the Olympics and for the Rugby World Cup, and even though we had a typhoon last year, and now we have this. And the numbers, it's really, like I mentioned earlier, it's hard to tell. I mean, it feels like Japan is getting through this safely, even though the numbers are going up. But the reason the numbers are going up is because they're testing more. And they're finding people who actually do have these symptoms, but they're able to treat them efficiently and allow them to recover in their own homes safely and away from harm. And if they are able to confirm that someone does have the coronavirus, they're able to isolate that person as well and get them out of harm's way as soon as they can before they spread it. In reality, Japan is getting through this, but you know, it resulted in the loss of the Olympics, and that's sad. It really is kind of sad. Yeah. I actually have some, so I just kicked my whiteboard here. I have some stuff that I actually bought because of the historicity, made that word up, of the historicalness of the Olympics. I decided I would buy a couple of mementos, the 2020, Tokyo 2020 mementos here. One of which I intend on keeping, this one, and then I'm going to donate this to a museum in 50 or so years, give it to the Edo Tokyo Hakobutsukan or something like that, right? Because of the fact that this is the first Olympics that was ever postponed due to illness, and you know that also had nothing to do with wartime as well, right? So I remember seeing like posters from like Tokyo 1940 when Tokyo was supposed to host the Olympics, but it was canceled due to World War II. You know, a lot of mementos from other historical Olympics. Like I remember seeing someone post in, I forget where this museum was, but a chunk of concrete from the plaza in Atlanta where that was bombed during the '96 Olympics, right? So I mean, this sort of stuff. Like, I don't, you know, you donate this to a museum in 50 years. You don't hold on to it and sell it for $30,000 or whatever. So that's why I'm holding on to this, because, you know, in the future, this is going to be something that people want to see, right? So, yeah, so in terms of the Olympics, no date yet for the rescheduling, like I mentioned at the beginning. I honestly think that they might try to do this in October, just so they don't, thank you, Car, just so they don't interfere with other sports. They might try it into spring of next year or summer. I remember watching the news yesterday, Koike Yuriko, the governor of Tokyo, she was like, yeah, by August of next year, at the very latest, we're going to have the Olympics. So they didn't decide a date yet. I'm assuming right now they're talking with the sponsors, NBC, a bunch of other people who are paying billions of dollars to figure out the details. But yeah, another thing taken away from me this year is the Olympics. Oh well. No sports makes me a sad boy, so I've been watching a lot of Rugby World Cup highlights from last year. Seems like such an eternity ago, the Rugby World Cup, right? But yeah. Well, that's what we're faced with, and as long as life chugs on, I guess that's what all that matters in the end, right? Oh yeah, I'm going to have an announcement tomorrow regarding the YouTube Hanami. Just note that it's probably going to end up getting not canceled, delayed. I'm waiting to see the April 4th forecast, but if you just look at the forecast right next to me for the, I'll lean out of the way. Basically for the, yeah, that doesn't look good. So, most likely I'm going to announce tomorrow that the YouTube Hanami is canceled. And then rescheduled for April 4th. Hashtag not canceled, hashtag postponed. How about that? Alright, whatever. For the Olympics and for the YouTube Hanami. Alright, take it easy guys, I gotta get out of here. I'm kinda late already.